I just wanted to apologize to Cindy and Jacqueline. I accidentally canceled the whole meeting when I hit record. So my apologies there. Just now when I hit so I thought I was hitting record. I hit the other red button, which was end. So I already started recording this session and I just apologized on the recording for abruptly ending your session. Welcome back. Welcome.
Okay.
So I'm so curious, Jacqueline, how has your transitions worked coming into back into the, the program, so to speak? You said you were having an adjustment going back to work.
Yeah. It's been okay. I mean, I've had to be a little creative with the food because of not eating meat. So I still try, I still find that a little bit challenging. Yeah, so that's kind of why I asked the question about whether it's okay to mix and match meals from different days, and yeah. So it's yeah, no, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it's been a bit challenging. I mean, I guess maybe it's me not being creative enough. If I had a vegetarian menu, I'd just do boom, 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 boom. But trying to make the swap outs and that kind of thing has been tough, a little bit tough.
Well, that is something we can strive to work on. I would say moving forward, I mean, it kind of takes us a while to make those meal plans sometimes.
Yeah, it takes a long time.
Yeah.
A really long time.
But that is something that we can definitely keep in mind. I mean, and again, some of the meals are plant-based already, or at least not, they're not animal protein already. So I hope that you're finding those easy to stick
Yes.
and follow it.
Yeah.
So you can always do it as a kind of a backup. The other thing that I want to start working on and introducing, so the third Friday of every month, we invite kind of our alumni to participate. And last week was that week, but they weren't able to be here. But as we go through different seasonal transitions, I would like to, also have our meal plans kind of ebb and flow through the seasons as well. So soup is kind of coming to mind, and how do we prepare soup stock? How do we make a really healthy, delicious, how do we batch cook some stock? That way making a soup can be easier for us to do, and we also feel really wholesome about the ingredients. And I agree, Jacqueline, as a mom who works a lot and works a stressful job, it does get to be challenging. I can't always have all my meals perfectly prepared and portioned for me, grab and go the way I really want them.
Yeah.
So I'm not perfect by any means, but we'll kind of share with you strategies that we try that it can, again, make, if you can have 4 solid days out of the work week where you feel pretty good about your meals and your intention that went into it and you planned, and then you're already that much ahead with snacks and things like that, I think that was a delivery man who just knocked on my door, by the way. I'm not going to go. Very, very loud knock.
How important is it? I mean, I know you have all the nutritional information and the macros and then all that stuff. So I guess my question is, if it's easier for me to say, take a breakfast for lunch one day because lunch is, I don't know, meat-based or whatever, how does it, how rigid should I be with, I mean, I'm just trying to get a sense of, am I looking to just get in the general protein and calorie, or I know that you've planned out these days really, with a lot of effort. So I don't know.
Yeah, so I think it's really just that you're in kind of a unique position. So it would just probably be getting within the ballpark. Because I think otherwise, if, to get that really specific vegetarian plan, you'd have to have like an individualized plan made just for you to make that work.
Yeah.
Which isn't entirely out of the question. We can explore that, because just because you're the first vegetarian in our
Yeah.
program doesn't mean you're going to be the last.
No.
So I want to grow with you and not leave you kind of like dangling or feeling helpless. So the emphasis behind the protein, and this is why bariatric surgery loves it so much, is because protein, I think somebody is trying to get my attention, but I'm not. No, I was going to keep ignoring them. Is protein has a hormonal influence in the body, and also nutritionally, and you look down at, all the kind of the science of the biochemistry, protein gets broken down into micro proteins or amino acids. And these amino acids have very specific roles in the body. And those specific roles regulate all of the hormones of appetite, energy, like your thyroid hormone, all of your sex hormones, estrogen, progesterone, all that balance, cholesterol, cortisol. I mean, literally everything in the body uses amino acids for this, including the gut bacteria.
Mm-hmm.
The gut bacteria use amino acids to help do other things for you. So when you eat enough protein, there is also a side effect that you aren't as hungry. So it's just again, in your experience, I think it's a good thing to check in on. Well, if I'm under on my protein this day, observationally, am I aware of being hungrier for, say, something else at 3:00? Do I feel unsatisfied? Do I feel like I'm reaching for more sugar and carbs? Because that's also something that happens inside our bodies if we
Right.
don't get fed enough amino acids. And if, again, it's kind of like mind and body, you have this awareness to not wanting to eat living beings. And I totally respect that. I think it's very admirable and honorable. But you're also a little bit restricted in terms of your surgery and, other, kind of things like that. So just
Yeah.
feel it out, journal about this. Again, you can totally swap a quarter of a cup of, or add to, omit the meat, and then add in some other form of a higher protein bean or lentil or tofu, and see how you feel.
Right.
You might not necessarily be eating 100 grams of protein a day, but if you ate 25 at breakfast and another, 15 at lunch, maybe you're eating more of a cheese-based or a cottage cheese-based snack,
Yeah.
and then you're doing a vegetarian dinner, then that's going to be okay too.
Yeah. Okay.
It
Yeah,
really just depends on that feeling of, by not getting enough protein, am I then all of a sudden craving other things, or is my hunger going way up? I'll let Bonnie talk.
Oh yeah. Well, I was just thinking as we were talking about this, that oftentimes, and I know we learned so much before bariatric surgery, it's kind of just a blur before you go in, but that we don't do a very good job explaining why protein is so important. And that most of it is just because our body can't make all of those amino acids. And then it just comes down to volumetrics, which is when you have surgery, you can only eat like this much at a time. So that's why they typically place such an emphasis on that, is because your body can make things like glucose, and it can make, take fats and do all this stuff with it, but it can't make the proteins that we need. So all those essential amino acids. I'm not sure if that's something that ever gets mentioned when people talk about protein before surgery, but it's just kind of worth knowing.
Right. Okay.
How are you doing, Cindy?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm fine.
Yeah,
I had a rougher week this week, only because I had some issues with some of the food this week. The meatballs, I had to use hamburger. I couldn't find bison, so I made meatballs, and I had a hard time digesting it. It was just too dry for me.
Yeah.
I did not like the dish with the parsley. I didn't like the parsley leaf. So it was interesting, but it wasn't nothing I couldn't get over.
Did you do dry parsley or fresh parsley?
I did fresh parsley.
Oh, really?
And I felt like they were too rough. too thick or something. Maybe mine were too mature. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, so that's definitely something I encounter. I mean, and my 5-year-old, I'll feed her blueberries fresh picked from Oregon, straight off the tree. And then she'll go to the grocery store with me and she'll want me to buy her blueberries. And she puts one in her mouth and she just spits it out. And now she said, I don't like blueberries anymore. And I'm like, no, honey, you just had a bad blueberry. You know, so continue to stay curious, but at the same time, totally fine if you didn't thrive on the parsley dish.
And did you feel like the bison just didn't digest very well for you? Is that what you said? Oh,
She's a little frozen for me.
oh no, we lost her.
Oh, bummer.
We lost Cindy.
Yep, she'll have to
Oh,
come
she's
back
gone.
in. Well, let's hold this thought then, because it's funny. There's a paradox in everything. Because just like Jacqueline is experiencing her aversion to not wanting to eat meat, so many times gastric bypass, because it alters the amount of acid in the pouch, you actually inherently have a really hard time digesting certain animal proteins.
Yeah.
Red meat is classically very difficult to digest because of these mechanisms.
Well, it's so different for everyone too. Like, I totally respect that everyone has different things they can eat. One of like the funniest things I've ever heard from one of my patients in the clinic was that they could eat chicken breast, but if it got reheated the next day in the microwave, it made them throw up.
Oh,
They couldn't digest it. It was just like it sat so heavy in their stomach. And it's just like that's just the way his body was. And that's okay.
wow.
Cindy, we're
Cindy.
happy you're back.
I'm back. I'm sorry. I'm sitting in the car, so seems like this isn't going to be a good spot, but we're going to work on it.
So did I hear you saying that you found bison, but it was hard to digest? It was kind of dry.
Yeah, I could not find any, so I used the lean hamburger meat and made and I did not. They were hard going down. I couldn't even finish them, so I'll have to think of something different or not use that. I don't usually eat meatballs, so that was a new thing for me. I can eat ground beef with no problem, but I guess it was the clump of meatball was just too much. Even though I cut it, it was dry.
Yeah, just kind of got stuck.
Yeah, it just didn't do.
Do you have a sous vide?
Do I have a what?
So it's called a sous vide, and we're talking like chef stuff now. But
yeah.
I know. But my husband is Australian, and tell you what, I don't know a single vegetarian Australian. I just don't know. I don't know any. But it's pretty funny. So my husband just loves meat, and I made him the meatballs based off of the recipe that we provided because it is lower fat, leaner, and all those things. And he just kind of scoffed at it immediately. There's no pork fat. So he's also Italian. He's Italian Australian, and in order to have a real meatball, then there's a practice of mixing like the beef with the pork. And that's almost all of Italian tradition is it's pork plus beef. That's how it is in your pasta, your red tomato sauces, like everything. It's short ribs plus flank steak. It's always the combo. And so anyway, if you ever have pork or meatballs or something like that on a menu again, or something that you want to prepare, you might want to just get either a higher fat content or combine just a teeny little bit of pork with it.
Oh, okay.
Because pork often has a higher fat content.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. But other than that, my week went fine. Everything's been, it worked out good.
Good.
I even ate mushrooms, which, I've said before, I hate mushrooms, but I did them on my little zucchini pizza and I did not taste them. So I felt good.
I am just so tickled. I love your I don't know, I guess excitement and willingness to really be curious here and show up and try these new things.
Yeah, it's been great. It's been a good experience for me to even venture out because I for years I've eaten really the same things all the time. So I've enjoyed it. It's a lot of prep work. So, but I enjoy it. That's my husband. He helps me prepare for the next couple of days. So it's worked out good for me.
Oh, that's good.
How is exercise and activity going for everyone?
I'm just walking as much as I can.
Yeah,
That's good.
yeah, and I'm walking. I walk the dog every day, so. it's-
I think walking is perfect. I think it is definitely an underrated form of activity. The was activity in this week's modules? I kind of forgot. It must have
Yeah.
been. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, so I went to a yoga class once and it was really eye-opening. The instructor commented on, some sort of whatever we call it, if we want to call it science or published in Prevention Magazine, whatever you want to say, but there was some sort of finding or awareness out there that you age faster as soon as you lose your ability to get up and down off the floor.
Oh,
And you look at cultures like in Japan and many parts of Asian cultures where they sit down on the floor to eat and then they have to like get up. Mattresses aren't up on giant beds with step stools to climb into, but you have to crawl down on the floor to get into your bed. So just a little movement homework assignment for you guys, because you both look very able-bodied. I don't tell this to our first-time kind of bariatric people that come in a walker. Sometimes we see those people in the clinic. But at home, see if you can't every day get down onto the floor, lie on your stomach, roll over, and stand up. Stand up, get back down onto the floor, roll over in a different way, and stand up in a different way. Maybe you lead with the left leg, maybe you lead with the right leg, maybe you get onto all fours, and then you slowly crawl down, and then you slowly crawl up. But these are called up downs. And in this yoga class that I did, we did this for 20 minutes.
Oh,
Wow.
And then the other challenge was to do it without using your hands. Now, I don't want to promote anybody falling on their face or hurting anything, but it's so gentle. You could even use your couch, right? You can use your coffee table. You can use all these things to assist you to get down. But then you also use so many muscles to then stand back up again. You're practically doing a sit-up. You're practically, doing push-ups, modified push-ups, of course, but just getting up and down off the ground in that very rudimentary thing, you're squatting, you're flexing, you're using muscles, and nobody would ever pay $25 to go to a fitness class to do that. I maybe would, but I'm eccentric in my movement. I really like eccentric movements. I think it's really fun, really playful, and also much more dynamic.
okay. Let's see if the dog likes that.
Your dog's gonna lick your face so much.
They're gonna love it.
That'll be funny.
Yeah. So is there anything that you guys need going into this next week?
No, I haven't looked at the menu or anything, so I don't know what it's even consists of to say if it's going to be anything I'm confused about yet. But no, I just follow it to the T the best I can. I don't have to make substitutes or anything like Jacqueline does. So I just follow it to the T and I work fine. My only thing is I am hungry sometimes afterwards. Like, can I add a side salad or something to a meal if I don't feel it's going to be enough?
Yes, you can do that.
Yeah. That's about the only thing I'm thinking I can do to try to help. So that
Yeah.
I don't want to snack, but I feel like I need to because I don't feel like I've eaten enough
Yeah.
later.
And is it, because so many times I hear from people that they don't feel restriction. Are you waiting for a cue of full? Or is it that, I mean, I don't know, because I hear you. I do this too. I'm just really curious.
So I'm usually satisfied when I first eat. Like when I eat, I'm okay. I'm not hungry. I'm done. It's just several times it's been on lunch and dinners that after an hour or so I've had water, I've done other things, and I find that my stomach actually feels hungry. So I did try yogurt one time because you suggested that last week, but then I thought, well, can I add something like a salad to it? I don't want a snack, so I just want to eat that one meal. But I do feel fullness. I usually with every meal, I'm content at that moment.
Yeah.
Cindy, tell me, what does hunger feel like for you? Like if you were to describe it to me.
It's not like, it's been so long for me since I've had surgery, but it's just an ache really.
Okay.
Like I feel like I need something else. For instance, today I'm interviewing someone. I've been doing interviews for a new employee, so I wasn't able to eat lunch when I normally do, and I had an ache in my stomach. It's not like a hunger like I remember having hunger pains. It's just an ache, and I know I need it to eat something. So that's what hunger feels like to me.
Gotcha. Do you have any other accompanying things with it? Like, do you feel kind of grumpy or like shaky or?
I could get grumpy.
Yeah.
If like at work I've had, you're hungry, how they say you're hangry.
Yeah.
But the only time I usually have a headache would be if I'm outside in the sun and I haven't eaten. For some reason I get a headache, but I don't in a normal day.
I almost actually wonder if for you then what you might want to do is take those meals and split them up more.
Okay.
So just eat half of it and then wait and eat half of it a little bit later. Are you separating your eating and drinking?
Yes, I've always done that.
Yeah.
That's just such a habit for me. The only time I might drink is if I'm eating something and I feel like it's stuck or it's hot and I need to get something down, and it's only a small sip.
I see people all the time that some people really thrive on 3 meals and a snack, and other people after surgery need more like 6 smaller kind of things throughout the day. And that's okay. If that's, if you feel better, like you have more energy and it gets rid of the ache, you're still going to have the same amount of calories in the day.
Right.
You could add a little salad in and just kind of say, well, I'm going to split it up a little bit more throughout the day.
Okay.
And
that's good then.
I like how Bonnie teased that out, because that physical sensation is what you're treating with eating.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes that is different than your body actually needing caloric energy. And so you can get into this habit very quickly after something as dramatic as bariatric surgery to lose all this weight, and you unknowingly sabotage yourself by eating too much because of the physical sensation that you have. So I love Bonnie's suggestion about taking the meals and just breaking them up, because that is going to get rid of that I need something in my tummy kind of feeling, which is dramatically different. So from a perspective of, again, energy and metabolism, and I feel this because of athletic things that I've done. When your body gets pushed energetically to the point of no longer having internal sources of sugar or calories to then keep my muscles alive, everything gets kind of weak until you take the next sip of juice, which again is not necessarily a bariatric thing, or whatever that some form of energy is, and then you feel it go directly to your muscles and you kind of like keep going again. So there is really, and we keep again kind of joking around, an art to this, letting your body get fed so that everything works, so that your brain works, so that your bowels work, so that you have energy to move in your muscles, so that you're not cranky and irritable.
Yeah.
You know, so that you can breathe easy, so you have a good immune system, so that you have energy to do the things you want to do and to do them with ease.
Okay.
And so that physical sensation needs to be addressed as much as all these other things do. But keep in mind, what's that big goal? So other ways, because sometimes I feel like I can just keep eating and eating and eating and eating too. So shredded cabbage. Cabbage is a really, really good thing to, so say you take a meal and you want to split it up, but you're a little worried that it's not going to be enough. You could shred cabbage really fine, little sea salt, little pepper, maybe a little vinegar, kind of toss it, and then have that be the bed in which this meal that you just split up is going to be eaten on. You're going to get good crunch, and you're also going to get much more bites out of the meal, which is also going to satisfy you. I'm a very like sensory kind of eater, and like chewing for me and feeling like I have enough in my bowl to satisfy how many times I want to chew and how long I spend doing it is like part of that big sensory experience. The other thing would be like maybe some roasted broccoli or roasted cauliflower. And it wouldn't take a lot, but again, just a little bit to add it to your meal. These are whole food sources, high in fiber. You want to chew them really well, so you're going to get a lot of satisfaction out of chewing them. They have pretty good flavor and can blend in really well with the meal that you're already eating.
Well, this is perfect for me because I love all that and I would eat that in a normal day. I was just trying to follow everything to the T without adding more. So
Yes.
Well,
For
And sometimes you can add more, like you can add more vegetables. You can always add more vegetables. I mean, it sounds kind of crazy, but you know, I even do this. I like to keep things like fermented pickles and pepperoncinis in my fridge. And if I feel like I just need something, I might just pull those out and just snack on them. And I know that they're vegetables and I got some fermented foods and I didn't really add anything to my day.
okay. Sounds good. Like today for the fajitas for lunch, I didn't even throw the lettuce in there. I've completely left it at the house. But to me, I would have done better having two smaller meals, putting that over a little salad and making it a fajita salad, two small ones. So things like that I have to work with. So thanks for that suggestion.
Yeah, you're absolutely welcome. I think kind of digesting through these daily experiences of what comes natural, what doesn't come natural, is kind of laying down the foundation for allowing you that absolute comfort, control, food freedom. I am living this life. I'm no longer confused. I feel really nourished. You know, I'm no longer sweating over the 5-calorie thing I just ate.
Well, yeah, and we're not the same. Like our bodies are not all the same. So we can give you the like, this is what science says happens with metabolism, but that, you know, unless we literally went into you as a person, like you are your own person and you feel your own ways throughout the day. And so just like there's no one diet fits all, there's really kind of no one size fits all for a lot of this. So.
Okay. Thank you. That sounds good.
Absolutely. Cool. Well, Jacqueline, do you need any mindfulness today?
I've just been doing mindfulness all morning with some clients, so.
Good.
And I actually just got if you don't have it, it's just a bunch of exercises, polyvagal exercises. It's a whole book of them. And you can get it off Amazon. It's really helpful. So I've been doing that too.
Great. Well, what's been one of your favorite sort of takeaways from that book besides breath work?
Oh, I just got the book yesterday, so it's too soon to tell. You know, I like the the looking up left and then you look, I like the eye things. It seems really helpful. And also I've been doing a lot of meridian tapping, which is, for me, I feel like I've had an acupuncture session. It feels fantastic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty neat. So
Yeah.
that brings up a little question for me then. What would you guys say you're using as self-care practices through this time? Every time there's a seasonal transition, I tend to fall hard into needing to do a lot of self-care. I know, Cindy, you just got off vacation, so that
Right.
had to feel pretty good. But now that you're kind of moving into your work week, yeah, I'm just curious what sort of practices you guys fall back on for, really that non-food way of making yourself feel nourished and connected.
Well, I'm still trying I'm going to bed really early. I'm still adjusting to this getting off summer thing where I wasn't doing 2 jobs. So I would say I'm not doing a great job, but I am going to bed. I mean, I'm finding I'm going to bed like at 9:30. So, that's, and then within my practice, I do a lot of mindfulness and stuff, but that's for clients. It's not really, it's different.
What about you, Cindy?
For me, like I said, I just came back, but this week for me, I've got a different sense of energy right now than I've had in quite a while because my digestive system feels so much better. I did have some problems this week with constipation, but I was able to get through that, which is very odd for me. And I instantly have all this energy. So I'm in an organizing mode, but that's myself, because I feel like mentally things that I have been putting off, I'm now doing. Other than walking and getting out, this is all I want to do is just organize. I have energy. So this is my self-care right now because this is what I want to do.
Yeah, that resonates a lot, actually. And I love hearing about your kind of renewed sense of digestion and energy, and then how that's translating out to you restructuring your immediate environment around you.
Right. That's exactly what's happening. My husband said, "Who are you?" He doesn't understand because I've already done one room this week and my plans in the kitchen this weekend. And he's like, "I don't even know who you are right now." So
that's cool. Well, it's kind of like a domino or like a little bit of a ripple effect too that happens. So one of the things I like to get, again, curious about is as we go through, because we're almost halfway.
Halfway. Yeah.
So as we kind of keep going, what happens around us that isn't so pleasant, that almost derails us from our intention, which is to take care of ourselves. And I love it when people are like, this is great. I'm getting it. I got digestion figured out. I have more energy. And it's kind of like that honeymoon phase of like, oh, I just recommitted to taking really good care of myself. But life will always happen. And there's always something pulling our energy and our attention kind of away from this good intention kind of place. So remember how good it feels, and also just be aware in this next week of what is it exactly that maybe pulls you out of it, because we're going to keep addressing those things and keep kind of pulling ourselves back in and using this sort of community and this forum to keep doing that. What we're going for is kind of a permanent, long-standing self-interest, self-curiosity, self-discipline kind of way of like thinking about ourselves and prioritizing ourselves. We're not going for 6 weeks, 1,000-calorie crash diet, all or nothing. Bye, you lost 10 pounds, great. And then 2 weeks later, you gain it all back. So keep it up, the good work, but also pay attention for when you get pulled away from it. I love Chinese medicine. I don't know if either one of Jacqueline was just mentioning meridians and stuff, but this is a book that I come to every single fall. I find it incredibly challenging to come out of summer and then have my days shorter and kind of, again, this just transitioning into fall. But I wanted to read you guys from it. So this is, it really is kind of more like a self-care kind of guide in and around seasonal transitions. So in Chinese medicine, there are 5 sort of elements and 5 sort of seasons. So there's a spring, an early summer, a late summer, a fall, and then there's a winter. And anytime you transition from one season to the next, we can experience it differently. We can struggle to get the sleep and rest we need. Sometimes we can, again, kind of be pulled out of our bodies, be subject to more colds or illnesses or things like that. Again, I think everybody here is doing a fantastic job listening to their body and taking care of themselves. But I just want to leave you guys with some thoughts here. So in Chinese medicine, they call it the metal phase, but that's just autumn and fall. The challenge is to open yourself to inspiration and harvest what is valuable in your life. Let go of what no longer furthers your growth and develop the strength to grieve important losses. I don't know if you've ever experienced a feeling of sadness that kind of comes around fall time. I've always attributed it to mourning my summer social life. But really kind of lean into that feeling of grief. Set your focus on wholeness, looking beyond superficial appearances to connect more deeply to life and to spirit. And Cindy, when you were describing your desire to organize, are you also collecting things that you no longer want and then giving them to Goodwill or?
Yes, absolutely. It's been what I've been doing for days now.
Exactly. So
Crazy how it happens.
I just want to say intuitively, you both are already energetically like on path with this feeling of fall and letting go of things and kind of reorganizing and restructuring things. And I just want to clap my little silent hands for you. So these are just some other self-care exercises that this book recommends that I find so easy and nourishing to do at this time. Engage the power of mindful breathing by including at least 10 to 15 deep breaths of this a day, even if you can just do that. And as you mindfully breathe, try to exhale a little bit longer than you inhale. And that is that kind of resetting of the nervous system kind of feeling. Reflect on how you would like to add value to another or to the world. And explore your thoughts, feelings, and inner world through careful observation and journaling to reconnect to yourself. And then they have a couple of meal suggestions, which I think does fit quite well with our meal plan. But that is just to eat very slowly and mindfully at this time. By slowing down when we're eating, we are activating the parts of our digestive tract that help us release the enzymes to digest the food that we're doing. And I think, again, after gastric bypass, that is so incredibly important because your stomach has really been divided into 2 separate pieces. Yeah. And so just some things to kind of look for, like these kind of white colored foods. So that would be like onions and garlic and cauliflower and cabbages and parsnips and turnips. Now, we don't necessarily have recipes yet with parsnips and turnips, but like I said, I'm feeling really inspired to make maybe a vegetarian soup. Now, Jacqueline, are you okay using animal products in a soup stock?
I would rather not.
Okay.
So usually veggie broth is,
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay. I don't know. I don't have anything else today.
I don't think I have anything else either. I'm so happy you both showed up today for this.
Me too.
Yeah, well,
Thank you.
thank you.
Me
I
too.
didn't think I was going to connect, but I'm glad I only got lost twice.
Well,
I'll
once
look forward
was
to
my
talking
fault.
to you. Yeah, I'll look forward to talking to you all this week. And Jacqueline, I hope you have a good week.
Yeah,
we
you
go forward.
too. You
Thank
too.
you. Thank you,
Okay,
ladies. Bye.
Jacqueline, I'll
Bye.
try to make you at least one full day of a plant-based recipe.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye.